Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Ocular Max. This is PS23 Ignis, which I'm sure you can already tell if he didn't give it away anyway, is a masterpiece third-party scale hotspot figure. So because I've never reviewed one of these figures before, the way the video is going to go is we're going to do some first impressions of the figure. We're then going to have a look at both of his other alternate modes before coming back again to see him in robot mode, because there may be something that I've missed out. We can have a look at how his accessories work and fit on him, and indeed compare him with some other masterpiece figures. So before we get started, I need to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. And also to thank Shozy, because that's where this came from, and as you can see, it came nice, quickly and safely. So we've got some beautiful artwork of what we know to be the protector bots on the back of the box. We've got all three modes visible there. We've got the fire engine, we've got the base mode, which I'm really pleased they've included. It's also showing the combined mode at the top, which I'm not going to do in this video. I'm going to save it until we're able to build him all the way up. And of course we've got the robot mode. The box itself is nice and sturdy. It's got that same quality feel which pretty much all masterpiece boxes have got, and it's very cheekily also got a tech spec at the bottom as well. Right, let's move this out of the way. Now the first thing that I noticed with these, again, never seen these figures, the weight. It is so heavy, it really is. Also chunky. If anything, it's just a super sized, from the way it feels, version of this. I mean, even right down to how big and how thick this is, to his legs, to pretty much everything. Now this might not be the way that he fully is in a robot. As I said, I've just took him out of the box. This is just my first impressions of it. And as I say, the first thing that you get is just the feel of the weight. In honesty, I think the head sculpt might be a little bit too small for the size of the actual figure. Now, I've already seen and worked out that the defensor head is hidden away in there. The nice thing I have noticed is that the tires do feel like rubber. The articulation, I need to lift this up a little bit because he is just a bit too big. And as I say, this is it's just chunky. It's massive. You can still get the T with these, which is great. Oh, it looks like they're on ratchets. They do, I think that caught on there. That's what I think I did. It will sort of spin all the way around. Again, it's exactly the same as the Generation 1 figure. A huge shoulder part there. It looks like if I move this slightly out of the way, there is a swivel. There's obviously also bicep flexion. I'm not sure it's supposed to. Again, if I'm getting this wrong, I'm going to come back at the end in robot mode to A, correct myself, or B, to point out the things I've missed out. The hands, loads of articulation at the thumb, right down to the knuckles into the fingers, so loads there. There is a genuine ab crunch, you can see there. That looks to be on ratchets as well. Same for the waist swivel, all the way around. Hips are going to kick on ratchets all the way up. That's obviously a hip skirt, so it can come way up past the point of vertical, which is great. And I suppose as long as it misses all of this backpack, which indeed it should do. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can get the splits if you want to, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Right, I'm trying to work out where the die cast is, to be honest, because again, with the weight, it's got to have some die cast in it. These are going to go, yep, out to the side as well, all the way. There's a swivel just below the thigh. There's also a knee, which is ratcheted. The feet, is it going to tilt and rock as well? I'm not too, oh yeah, it will tilt. It'll slightly rock, and I think, again, as you'd expect, full articulation for a huge blocky figure. Again, I'm just getting huge G1 oversized, borderline oversized KO vibes, which I've seen with some figures. It's basic in a nice way, and what I mean by that is the plastic is like, I suppose, is like a matte finish. It's not glossy, it's not shiny, it's quite dull, to be fair. There isn't any other stickers. I've checked this. I'm going to show you the rest of the contents of that in a second. So there's no other stickers, so I believe this is his final looking appearance. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, you've just got the black there. The details are probably going to be much better when he's in either one of his alternate modes. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying he just looks quite basic. He feels quite basic and chunky. I mean, I'm saying he feels basic. I've just shown you he's got loads of articulation, but again, I still can't get over these giant shoulders, giant thick legs, which are no real different to these, just bigger. It's crazy, but there you go. That is the first impressions. Overall, it's a good first impression. It's just I'm surprised, but again, I am surprised. So let's come back and have a look at him. Let's go for his fire engine mode first and foremost. Okay, then we're back, and as you can see, we're in the, I mean, the only word I can use to describe this is massive alternate mode. It's huge. Again, it's completely surprised me, I suppose. Just the size of it. As I say, I have been recently repurchasing Masterpiece figures and getting used, I suppose, to them by doing a few third-party reviews, but this again is on a different level. Well, this is, I suppose, what surprised me. There's your Takara train bot, which is of course MP6 Cayenne, and of course it's a train, but it's like, this is at least twice everything, twice as big, twice as high, twice as much depth. This is a massive figure. To give you, I suppose, you an idea of just how big it is, there's your industry standard Earthrise Prime. It's wider than that, it's higher than that, it's got to be thicker, the whole front of it, and again the weight of it is huge. It really is. Yeah, there you go, there's Earthrise. And there's your original, so it's massive. Right, let's move these out of the way and do a quick couple of G1 comparisons. And again, they've nailed it, to be honest. They've changed the detail there on the hose, which I think looks a lot better, which you can see. They've got obviously extra detail for the wing mirrors, which this didn't have. They've kept the same rubber tires, which is brilliant, and they have managed to encapsulate and close everything off really quite well. The only thing that looks a little bit untidy, but thankfully enough the ladder covers it, is all of them panels there. It's not too bad, but again you can see it is sort of very visible stuff. This obviously spins all the way around, the ladder part moves up and down, this can also cascade in and out, but not only that, this can slide backwards and forwards on this axis as well, which is brilliant. And again, just adds to, I suppose, more playability, more posability if you want to be doing pictures. These also come down as well, so if I can just, there we go, slot these down. These are on both sides. You can actually lift and raise the whole back part up, pretty much, I suppose, exactly like you would in real life. There's some nice silver on the inside of the wheels. There's some nice silver detail on the bumper, and the headlights are obviously all painted in. I think that's translucent plastic there on the lights, which again is fantastic. And then this, I suppose, again, look, they've even got the detail there of the foot plates on the back. Let's bring in a few other figures just to give you an idea again of size. So there is your Voyager class Starscream. I know these are all different, well, these are all mainline rather, instead of your third-party Masterpiece figures, but as I say, lots of people well, on this channel will be able to, I suppose, relate better to the size of these figures than all the Masterpiece ones, but that's just a few of them, shall we say. It is chunky, it is again basic. I've got to stop saying that because that's all I keep saying, but still clever, still really clever, and intriguing. And what I do like about it is the fact that it does, of course, have the base mode as well. Let's just see if we can attach any accessories to him when he's in this mode. Okay, so here's his accessories, and yes, you can attach these. Also as well, I will be going back to the robot mode for the final part of the video, because there was other parts and things that I missed out, like the head, antennae, and a couple of other things as well. That's why I always do the first impressions separate to the main part of the robot, because again, sometimes you do miss things. So these are the guns, the blasters that were of course in the bag that came with it. That's of course for robot mode, and what I'm doing is via this little tab here, there's a cutout on the back of there, and this is going to slot into the back like so, and yeah, it fits there fine. I don't think there's anywhere else along the side that you can attach them to my knowledge. It doesn't look like it, but there you go. That, I think, there is all to say about the fire truck mode, and indeed I suppose the armored up, powered up version as well. But as always guys, if there's something I've missed, please do let me know in the comments. And I just, I suppose, want to reiterate again why I dislike third parties instructions, to be honest, because you can see there we've got the truck mode and there's no demonstration or a description of how to attach the guns. Luckily enough I was able to work it out myself, but again, it's just one of the other things that's just a little bit negative with regards to the instructions. So that's the fire truck. Let's come back and have a look at him in his base mode. Okay, so here he is in his base mode, and although yes, I am having a bit of a moan about the instructions, I'm really beginning to like this figure even more because it's basically just a huge carbon copy of the original. I mean, look at this. Here's the base mode. You've got the guns either side. You've got the repair arms either side of the front. You've got the ladder coming over the top. So as I say, that's the G1 hotspot base mode, and then you've got this, and as I say, it's just an updated, bigger, better and lighter coloured version, shall we say. You can literally replicate it right down to everything, to how the accessories fit, to how the ladder bit attaches at the back. And okay, let's be honest, it's not the greatest. I think it's actually called a med bay mode for this particular figure, but it'll always be known as a base mode to myself. And even though you can't, I don't think you can really do much with it. I mean, I've got an Earthrise Optimus Prime there. Again, granted, I haven't got any masterpiece sort of figures here, but yeah, it's really starting to grow on me now just how G1 similar it is. And as I say, it's just an updated, much bigger version. Now, there's not much more to say or to show about this. We are going to come back now for the final time with him back in his robot, because as I say, there's a few things that I definitely realized that I've now missed out on, having gone through all of these modes rather. And of course, we'll bring in some of the other figures that I've got, different masterpieces from different toy lines, just to see how big he is. But once again, for the final time in one of the alternate modes, if I can fit that in there, there you go. It looks, yeah, like father, like son. There we go, guys. Onto the robot mode for the final part. Okay, so we're back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and in some cases I suppose it's a bit better to do things over a couple of days. Usually I manage to get my reviews done really quite fast, and I was feeling initially a little bit negative about this, especially with the instructions, etc. But now I've had a couple of days to play, to get him into all of his different modes. I'm really liking this figure, to be honest. So in fact, here's the guns, which you can just see there. This will fold out, and then this will fit in his hand, pretty much like the industry standard rest of the masterpiece figures. So you can just fit that into there, grip this around, and then of course rotate the wrist. Now the purpose of this last part is to point out that I did in fact miss out. Bring this down. Is it going to fit in front of the camera? These antennas, when I took it out the box, these were in, and yes, you can pull these out. They don't come out too far, but that is something that I did miss. And at the back, I don't think that these were folded over either. But as I said, this figure's really grown on me. Whoops, I've just knocked the accessories out. I'm really liking it, and again, hopefully I've got across how, I suppose, how big it is. I know I've used the word chunky loads of times, but there is an MP 43 toy deco. This guy towers over it. In fact, I really need to readjust this camera so you can see just how much bigger that it is. This is a Kang Toys Predacon, and they're notoriously really big third-party masterpiece figures. And again, he is towering way above him. He is huge. In fact, to give you an idea, if you only collect sort of mainline figures, a little bit about myself, this might give you a bit of a giggle. There is your Combiner Wars Defensor. He's as big as that. So the masterpiece version of Hotspot alone is bigger, by the looks of it, just about, than the Combiner Wars Defensor figure itself. So yeah, really grown on me. The only negative thing is the instructions, but I think once you get around that, and unfortunately that's just one of the things you have to do with it being a third-party figure, it gets a little bit better. I think I've managed to work out bringing this toe part up, or this, I suppose, support for the feet as well. I wanted to show you the collector's card, the Trans Art. I think that says, no, it won't say Trans Art at all. Of course it won't. That's the Beast Wars figures. This is PS23 Ignis. And the other thing that I didn't show you, because I've not done the combined mode, as I say, I will be saving that. The head, funnily enough, is very cleverly tucked away inside there, so I can't wait to do the full combining video for you showing that. But it did come with this as well, so because he's of course the main bot, shall we say, you've got, there's the Defensor head, which again is huge. It doesn't just fit on like a mask, and we've got two different expressions as well. But again, I will be showing you them in full detail. I suppose with regards to a few other figures, there you go. There's your industry standard Earthrise Optimus Prime. There's a leader class from one of the latest toy lines at the time we were making this video, and to be fair, there's probably not much point going much smaller. There's a Voyager class, of course, Skywarp, and yeah, I think there's not really much more to say about him. I'm really glad that I have come back though, as I say. It's a great figure. It's not cheap, don't get me wrong, it is not a cheap figure, but the quality, I suppose, as I said in the very first part, I've gone back and watched my first segment, it is really heavy. And as I say, the articulation in this, I know it's a big figure and I know it's chunky, I've used that word again, you can still pose it way better than I can, but due to the multiple points of articulation in the shoulders, in the arms, in the sides, and in all the ratchety parts that there is here, there and everywhere, and I'm sure people can really do this a lot of justice. You can, even if you want to, sort of hyperextend the joints. So basically, if you put that little thing in there, you can bend them like the ways that the knees don't normally, if you wanted to. But you know, this is a robot, so I suppose he can do what he wants. So yeah, you can even, as I say, what would be known in the human body, in human anatomy, as hyperextending or going the wrong way, you can do that with this. So overall, really glad I came back to it. And as I say, it doesn't need all the decals, it doesn't need all the extra all singing, all dancing bits. Nice, simple, brilliant representation, and indeed huge version of the Generation 1 original. There you go, guys. This is, let's make sure I get it right, I think it's classed as Ocular Max. Is it all built in PS23 Ivnis figure? It is great. Hope you enjoyed the review. Again, guys, if I missed anything out, let me know. I'm new to these particular style of figures and I want to do as many reviews and as many different companies as possible. So thanks for watching. Take care.